Today we're going to wrap up what we've learned this week about volume and capacity and weight and mass, and we'll be using customary and metric, so we're going to be really careful to pay attention to what our questions are asking us. I've copied some questions from old STAR tests that we're going to use to see how we could be asked questions about what we've learned this week. So here's our first one, and I want you to think of what is some really important information in this question. A container of liquid laundry detergent at a grocery store is marked with the volume of detergent inside. Which unit of measure could be marked on the container? What are some things that you see that seem really important? Well, we're talking about volume. That seems really important to me. Because if we're talking about volume, I can look right here at the volume section and know that my answer has to be one of these if we're talking about volume. So let's go see what our choices are. Kilograms, meters, pounds, and liters. Now let's go back. Which of these would be volume? Where do you see kilograms? Here's kilograms. Is that volume and capacity? It's not. So that cannot be our answer. How about meters? Where do you see meters? Is it in volume and capacity? Nope, it's up here. So it's length. We're not even worried about length this week. So let's see. What's next? It can't be liters. How about pounds? Does pounds fall in volume and capacity? Nope, pounds is down here in weight and mass. So we know it can't be pounds. That leaves us with liters. Are we just going to circle the answer and move on? No, we're going to check our work and make sure that we're right. So let's see, do you see liters under volume and capacity? Of course, it's right here, and it's the only answer choice that was in volume and capacity. A liter is a measurement that we use for liquids when we're trying to figure out how much a container can hold. Good job. Let's look at another one. Patrick's class collected boxes of food for charity. Which unit of measurement should be used to measure the weight of the boxes of food? What do you think is really important that we should be watching for when we're trying to figure this one out? Weight. We're looking for the weight. So we need something that measures weight, and we're going to look right here in this weight section to see which one of our choices is in the weight section. Let's look at quarts. Do we use quarts to measure the weight of something? Where do you see quarts on your reference chart? Quarts are under the volume and capacity section, so that won't help us figure out the weight of something. How about pounds? Where do you see pounds on your reference chart? Pounds are in the right section. Let's keep looking and make sure we didn't miss anything. How about gallons? Are gallons used to measure the weight or mass of something? Where do you see it on your reference chart? Right there in the volume and capacity section. So that's not what we're looking for because we aren't measuring volume and capacity. We're measuring weight. Fluid ounces. Are fluid ounces used to measure weight? Look in your weight section on your reference chart. Do you see it? I don't see fluid ounces. I see weight ounces. And this says fluid ounces. Where do you see fluid ounces on your reference chart? In the volume and capacity section. So we won't use that one. And the only one that we would use that's in our weight and mass section is pounds. If Patrick is collecting boxes of food for charity, would it be appropriate to measure those boxes in pounds if I want to know their weight? Of course it would. That makes perfect sense. Let's try one more for today. Olga uses the same amount of water to fill her water bottle every day. Which unit of measurement should Olga use to measure the amount of water in her bottle? So let's start with our reference chart. We want to measure the amount of water in her water bottle. Are we talking about the volume and capacity of her water bottle, or are we talking about the weight and mass of her water bottle? Well, if she wants to fill her water bottle up, then we're talking about how much will it hold. So, if we're talking about how much will something hold, are we talking about its volume and capacity, or are we talking about its weight and mass? Remember, weight and mass tell us how heavy or how light something is. Volume and capacity tell us how much will something hold. So we're looking for something in this section. So let's start with our first choice, pounds. Do you see pounds in our volume and capacity section? Would pounds tell us how much water it would take to fill up her water bottle? Well, a couple of things. Pounds is in the weight and mass section. Pounds don't tell us how much it takes to fill something up. Pounds tell us how much something weighs or how heavy or light something is, and that's not what Olga wants to know about her water bottle. How about B, fluid ounces? Where do you see fluid ounces on your reference chart? Yes, right here. That's in the right section, but does it make sense? Would we use fluid ounces to talk about how much water we would use to fill something up? Yes, fluid means liquid, and we're talking about the amount of liquid, and it's in the right section. So I like fluid ounces, but let's keep going. Yards. Where are yards on your reference sheet? Would we use the measurement of a yard to tell how much something holds? Well, let's look at it. Here's a yard. It's in the length section. Does the length of something tell us how much water it holds? It doesn't. So it wouldn't make sense to measure her water bottle in yards. It also doesn't make sense because a yard is 3 feet. That has nothing to do with how much water would go in her container. So a yard would not help us. How about ounce? Well, where do you see ounce or ounces on your reference chart? Right down here. An ounce measures the weight or mass of something, or how heavy or how light it is. So remember, we talked earlier this week about the difference in fluid ounces being a measurement of how much something will hold, and ounces being the measurement of how heavy or light something is. So an ounce will not tell us how much water will fill her water bottle up, but a fluid ounce would tell us that. Great work this week, guys.